All right, folks, so this is FearGorm co-casting with Harlequin, and this is the SCReddit Open number 10, round of 16, best of 3 ace match between Sounder, the Protoss player, and Burnslough, the random player who has spawned as Protoss. So I'm expecting some very, very cheesy play from these players, especially from Burnslough, because it steps, his opponent doesn't know what he is, and unless his opponent scouts very, very quickly, he's going to be very, very vulnerable to anything like a proxy 2-gate.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough matchup. I think if I were in his shoes, I would have wanted either Zerg again, since it seems like he got his pacing right the last game, or I would have wanted Terran. But I definitely wouldn't want to play a Protoss player as a Protoss player if I'm random. So it looks like he's going for a normal, just kind of identical build from both of them, honestly. So we'll see if they're, I've said this many times before. Protoss on Protoss mirror match is one of my favorite mirror matches, just because it's so clean and elegant, and it's usually just straight kind of raw combat with mirrored units and that sort of thing. Whereas I think Zerg mirror matches and Terran mirror matches are both very boring. Zerg is just lots of exploding banelings and normal guts everywhere, and Terran just takes 24 hours or so. But this kind of mirror match I love watching. It tends to be pretty quick and pretty clean.
Yeah, and Sounder throwing down that pylon as Burnslough attempts to stop that, the gateway, as Burnslough attempts to stop it from going down. So Burnslough going at 13, Sounder going at 12, so pretty identical builds right now. So it looks like both of them are content to play it safe. I mean, they know it's an ace match. They're not really going to want to throw it away to some failed cheese or anything. So it doesn't look like either player is doing a 2-gate. I mean, as soon as one sees it, the other will respond immediately, because they both have scouts in each other's bases right now. So I mean, I as a Protoss player myself, I usually prefer a safe strategy like a 2-gate, 3-gate robo. But I can see someone going for something like Blink Stalkers. The thing about Blink Stalkers on a map like this is there's a very easy to defend ramp right here. So it's going to be difficult to get up Stalkers and get the sight necessary to blink into there. But some people like the 4-gate. I think the 4-gate is sort of just not as great as it used to be, just because Protoss players are getting a lot better at macroing, and I think that's a general direction of the game in general. But Burnslough is pulling off 2 pros to deal with that 1 pro, so I don't know if what he's afraid of, like a Korean 4-gate, or he just wants to get him out of there so he can get some tech. But he is throwing down a second gateway at 4 Cybercore, so I don't think he's teching very quickly.
Yeah, Burnslough is a little bit behind. They've got the same build in general. Sounder went for the first gateway, like you just said, before he got his second Cybercore. But now, of course, Cybercore's up right on time, and he should be able to pump out 2 Stalkers as soon as he has the money and gas for it. There they go. Whereas Burnslough, on the other hand, still hasn't produced a unit yet. I'm assuming he's going for the same build order. He just executed it a little more slowly. He got his second pylon first.
Yeah, indeed, and the advantage of getting your second gate before your Cybercore is, by the time your Cybercore, your second gate finishes, your Cybercore is right behind it, so you can immediately chrono boost out those 2 Stalkers like we saw him do. And Burnslough gonna lose an early Zealot, so that is not good, because at this point in time, he doesn't have Warp Gate, so he's not going to be able to reinforce very quickly. So every unit counts, and if he rifles that Stalker, yes, he loses no health on that Stalker, all shields. So Burnslough is, I think, in a little bit dire straits. I mean, he is chrono boosting out those extra units, Sounder, so he's gonna have a Stalker advantage very, very shortly. But fortunately, he does have to travel that longer run distance. But yeah, Burnslough, he needs to be careful here, because oh god, he got out of Zealot. That was absolutely the wrong move to make. So now it's going to be 3 Stalkers versus a Stalker and a Zealot. So I don't really see this working out if Sounder's micro is at least competent.
Yeah, this is why I sort of like these mirror matches. Both of them went for almost the same build orders, and just the slight unit and micro advantage is what's going to make the winner. And he just, Sounder just had the more competent, the tighter build order, and now he's just going to capitalize on that for the rest of the game.
Yeah, and I see this already being over. I don't know why he keeps on shooting those gateways. Please just go kill the unit. And okay, Sniper Pylon.
That's good.
I mean, that's not the greatest move. He's still getting. Yeah, he's gonna lose units to that 1 Stalker that he refused to shoot. Okay, and he does lose that Stalker to those extra units. I don't think it's going to make the hugest difference in the world, because he does have a unit advantage. And not getting the Force Field off on time. Force Field being them inside instead of outside. But now it is 2 Stalkers on low health, now 1 Stalker and a Zealot. This is the 3 Stalkers. He needs some micro that Stalker to the back. Excellent micro. Please don't lose it.
This is what Burnslough needs to get back into the game. He needs a miracle like he's seeing right now. He's just able to micro past the fact that Sounder had a unit advantage. Sounder basically had 2 Stalkers up on him from the very beginning, and just with micro and clever unit placement, he was able to get a little bit of advantage, but still too many Stalkers coming in. I don't know if he's going to be able to hold this off any longer.
I don't know if he can get these 3 gates out. He can turn it into warp gates right after the cycle. Oh no! And 2 of them go unpowered. But the situation is not as bad as it actually looks, because Sounder, throughout all of his heavy, intensive micro, is still on 2 gates and has not been macroing at all. So if Burnslough can hold off this push, I think he'll be in a good position to just win an A move right there. He needs to move that Stalker a little bit behind the other Stalker, though, so it's not the one target fire. And yes, please turn them into warp gates. He needs to get the production cycle in.
Sounder hasn't even researched.
Nice force field. Beautiful force field. Oh.
Sounder's just walking all of his units across the map. He hasn't even begun warp gate tech or even thought about getting it. He's just going for straight Stalker. He's kind of all-inning this.
Yeah, and I think with that robotics facility pumping out that Immortal, it's going to be GG. I mean, Sounder, it wasn't an all-in, it was just a sloppy play. I mean, throughout all this micro, he just forgot to macro entirely. He's paying for it by not having warp gate research, still being on 2 gates, which is really surprising because I'd expect Sounder is a guy who's far more used to PvP in this scenario.
Yep, and he just, he has the unit advantage, but he just couldn't, the base construction was actually the hardest part. He just couldn't quite get in and fight the defensive army like that. And so Burnslough was able to pull out on that. He had the complete disadvantage there, and he turned it right around.
Yeah, and we see that the unit loss tab is actually fairly even. So if Sounder had just teched up a little more, he would be absolutely fine. And now we see a 4-gate, 1 Immortal push. And if he can just get a proxy pylon, he'll be absolutely fine. But, is he looking to just expand? I don't agree with that. I guess he hasn't seen... I mean, I don't know if you could ever expect your Protoss opponent not to have warp gates at the 10-minute mark. But if he did have it out in time, he would realize that he's in a perfect position to move in for the kill right now. And the timing window is closing very, very quickly because a well-played force field could shut down this push.
Yep. Let's see if he's going to be able to turn this into a win here. I don't know why he left that pile in there. He should have gone for much further up. He does have a probe up front, though, so perhaps he can do that. But still, it's a lot of Stalkers for him to be able to fight now. It's a real uphill battle for him to get in. He does have sight, though, because of the Observer, rather. So let's see if this Immortal is going to take care of it. Really good shields there. Really good shields.
Oh, and that's allowing the Immortal to get in all the shots that he needs. The Immortal kills the Stalker in just 3 hits. And now the other Immortal is out, but he's lost so many units at this point, and he does not have the production capacity to deal with this. So with some really good force fields, Sounder can hold it off, but he's still just way, way, way behind. And if you look at his macro, just not doing well. He has 300 minerals and 250 gas. That's just sitting there. While Burnslough's not macroing terribly well, but at least he has all of his mineral count down.
There is that pylon. I wanted Burnslough to build that pylon a little while ago. Instead, he's still reinforcing from like the front of his expansion. But looks like he's finally moving into a good position here. We'll see if that Immortal keeps paying off. I think I saw him walking another Immortal over. Yeah, he's got 2 now. This is definitely bad news for Sounder.
Yeah, and at this point of the game, if we look at the army counts, actually... Oh, okay, without warping cycle, it just got completely skewed. But it was actually fairly even up to that point. But the thing is, Sounder still doesn't have the production capacity to make enough units. I mean, he can't afford a big engagement, and losing 3 units like that can be absolutely devastating because he needs every single unit right now. And those 2 Immortals that he has up there are going to be very, very key with some good force fields and try to isolate the other units as they come up the ramp. But this is great. That Observer is allowing him to just kill off every production facility that Sounder has. And right now, it is a nice open front that he can just run into. And yeah, Sounder has just abandoned the front entirely. You need to move up the ramp, Burnslough. What are you doing? Oh,
yeah,
no.
I think he's backing off when he sees those 3 Immortals, but he just needs Immortal on Immortal. He just needs to focus down those Immortals right now. He has such a strong Stalker advantage. I love how aggressive he's been with the shields, too. Those force fields have been so aggressive, and he's been using them just to very actively grab onto units and kill them. It's very surprising. So hopefully he'll just push up there. I just want to see him go up. He's being noticeably conservative just because he knows that this is an H match and he doesn't want to just all in commit. But I really think he's got the numbers to just force this.
I mean, the thing is, I'd be a little more understanding if he didn't have an Observer, and now he loses the Observer. So I think that's going to shut down this push. but he had the observer, so he saw that all the sentries were really far back, out of force field range. He could have run into the base and just killed off all those units and constantly reinforced. But now, it's a decent army for Sounder. Sounder, please do not move down that ramp. Please stay up your ramp. Please don't.
Oh, and the shields are going to isolate half of the army right there. That's terrible.
And and that's a huge loss right there. I mean, you cannot afford to lose an Immortal at this point. As a Stalker, yes. A Sentry, yes. You can't lose an Immortal, those heavy-hitting units. And I don't know why Sounder keeps on moving down the ramp, but he keeps on A-moving his Observer as well, instead of using his Observer to scout ahead and see if the contain is still there. But losing that Immortal really put him behind. He would have 4 Immortals by now, and that might have been enough to force field the ramp anytime Burnslough ran up and just kill all the units he catches there. And now Burnslough is in a comfortable position to take a Nexus, and he does. And he's throwing down a Robo. Oh, the Robo Bay actually went down a lot early. I just didn't see it. And he's going to be in good position to go 2-base Colossus, and Sounder doesn't have a response to this right now.
Yep, this is just a perfect contain. He's doing the correct move, though, which is don't overcommit. Just, he's not going to try and win big and fancy. He's just going to get a nice, solid win later on, as opposed to right now. So he's just getting the economic advantage. He's maintaining map control, and he's just going to sit on this and capitalize on it and make Sounder sit there and have to just wait for him to come and roll him with a double-sized army once he gets his expansion up. That's, honestly, given that this is an ace match, that's the best move for him to do, because there's no reason for him to throw it all away by risking a frontal assault when he could just sit here and contain. So many Immortals, though. 5 Immortals for Burnslough.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of what Sounder's doing right now, though, because what he's doing is getting a Stargate. Now, let's just sit here and wonder, what's the point of a Stargate here? What is he going to do? Get a Void Ray? I mean, a Void Ray is not going to change anything with that many Stalkers. What I'd actually like to see him do is try to do a Warp Prism drop in the back of the main, because he knows all the units are all the way up front. So he could really wreak some havoc on the mineral line. And while he's doing that, he can still defend his ramp, because he has enough sentries, or 1 sentry with enough energy to force field as many times as he needs. So a Void Ray is not the right choice here. He should try to drop the main, try to draw off this contain so he can possibly bust out, either go for an all-in or expand himself. But the Void Ray is just a bad move at the moment.
And Burnslough just got the advantage there. He just was able to snipe the Observer from Sounder. Sounder's quickly trying to produce out another one, but in the meantime, Burnslough's just got to take advantage of that and try and press his way up there. Here comes the Observer now.
Yeah, if we look at the income, it's now starting to pull very, very clearly in Burnslough's favor. Ooh, losing that Observer, not the greatest choice, but it's not a huge deal right now. What he just needs to focus on is keeping the opponent in the base. And he's going to have the Colossus out. Hopefully, yeah, there we go. He's just getting out his Colossus and Thermal Lance now. And these Void Rays, I mean, it's cool, but I see what he's doing. He's going for a snipe. Now, I don't like this move. I think the Void Ray is such an expensive investment when you compare it to something like a Warp Prism, drop some Zealots, all it costs you is minerals. He has plenty of minerals right now, and he gets some guaranteed kills on the probe line. If he catches Burnslough at a production cycle where you can just warp in 4, maybe 5 Stalkers, up to 4 Stalkers, they can just insta-snipe this Void Ray, and it's not really going to do much. And I'm not really sure what the purpose of trying to kill off this robotic facility is. And of course, Burnslough not responding correctly, though. He's just waiting for 1 full production cycle all the Stalkers in. Oh, and the Colossus is out. He saw that, he knows it's out. He could actually go and try to kill it off right now instead of trying to focus down on Nexus, but yeah,
this is suddenly a real problem for Burnslough. He, like you said, he didn't respond correctly. He tried to warp in directly onto a single unit. Now that they're fully charged, they're actually going to do a lot of damage here. Looks like he's finally going to get there with his units, but he's not before he loses that Nexus for sure.
Yeah, he's going to lose the Nexus, and he can actually focus on those Stalkers, but deciding to run away. And right now, he powered down a lot of production facilities as well over here. We see that the robotic facility is actually down at the moment. And now both players are on 1 base, but I think the addition of that Colossus is going to make it very, very difficult. He needs some micros, though. He can't lose to those Immortals. And pulling back, a nice pullback right there. Very good move. Keep on focusing on the Colossus. That's the most important unit on the field right now. It gives you range, it gives you damage, but he's not... Oh god, he's not using it correctly right now. But it looks like he did enough damage to break the ramp defense, and I think it's going to be GG right here.
Yep, that Colossus damage is finally stacking up. At first it wasn't doing a lot to Immortals, but now everybody's ruined, everybody's out of shields, and there's the good game push right there.